For more than 3,000 years, the galaxy had forgotten the name Earth. It was a forbidden word, a ghost from the past. Inside the shining halls of the Galactic Council, thousands of alien leaders gathered. They sat beneath a massive blue hologram showing the stars, every system under their control. Peace had ruled for millennia, but that peace was built on silence, the silence of one destroyed world. The Speaker of the Council, a tall being with crystal eyes, stood before the assembly. His voice echoed through the chamber. Order is maintained. The old wars are gone. The human problem is gone. The crowd nodded. No one dared to question him. For in the records of the galaxy, humanity had been erased, wiped out 3,200 years ago. But on that same day, deep scanners on the edge of known space began to flicker. A faint signal appeared, weak, ancient, and impossible to decode. At first, no one cared. Space was full of noise, but then the signal grew stronger. It pulsed in perfect rhythm like a heartbeat. 1, 2, 3, then a pause. Then words not in any alien tongue, but in old Terran English. "We are coming home." The technician who heard it froze. He didn't even know what language it was, but something in the sound made his skin crawl. He reported it to his superior, who hesitated, then passed it higher. Within hours, the message reached the council's top chamber. The speaker listened once and then felt a strange chill. "What origin?" he asked. The officer replied, trembling, "Unknown, sir. The coordinates lead to the dark sector, where no ships return." Murmurs filled the hall. Old rumors returned, whispers of the species that once defied the entire galaxy. Long ago, the council had called Earth too dangerous to live. Humans were clever, unpredictable, emotional. They adapted too fast, learned too deep, and fought beyond logic. When the council failed to control them, they erased them, or so they believed. A historian spoke softly. There were stories that some humans escaped before the cleansing, that they built something beyond the rim. The speaker slammed his hand on the table. Stories, nothing more. But deep inside, even he wasn't sure, because no one had ever found the remains of the final human fleet. They simply vanished. Hours later, the message repeated. The same voice, the same words. But now there was something new. A background hum, rhythmic, growing louder, like the sound of engines awakening after millennia. Council ships were sent to investigate. A squadron of scouts entered the dark sector and disappeared without a trace. Then came the silence. The kind of silence that no one dared to break. The speaker called an emergency meeting. "We will not spread panic. We will classify this as cosmic interference." But one admiral, old and scarred, stood up. His eyes were heavy with memory. "I fought in the human cleansing," he said. "I saw what they built before they died. Machines that learned faster than our AIs, engines that could twist gravity. If even one of them survived." He stopped. The room waited. "If they survived," he whispered, "then none of us are ready." No one spoke after that. Days turned into weeks. The signal spread through other sectors. Communication relays picked up ghost transmissions, faint human voices counting, whispering, laughing. Old Earth songs mixed with static. An explorer drone sent a video before vanishing. A massive silhouette blocking the stars, larger than a moon, moving faster than light. Its hull reflected no light, no radar. On its surface, a single glowing word: Earth. The Council's archives went into lockdown. Old records sealed for centuries were reopened. Data fragments told of something called Project Exodus 9. Files corrupted, words missing, but one message remained readable. "If we fall, we rise again. Humanity endures." The speaker felt his pulse quicken. He had read about this project in forbidden history. A desperate human plan to scatter themselves into deep space before extinction. No one believed it ever worked. Until now, the Council panicked. Some wanted to prepare fleets. Others wanted diplomacy. But the speaker knew. Diplomacy meant nothing to ghosts. That night, alone in his chamber, he activated the ancient hollow book containing the last words of Earth's ambassador before their destruction. The voice was calm, proud, human. "You can burn our world, but you cannot burn what we taught the stars and to dream, to fight, to never kneel." The speaker closed the device, but the words stayed in his mind. Outside, the stars shimmered strangely. A faint light moved across the sky, too slow for a comet, too large for a ship. He whispered to himself, "It's impossible. Humanity is gone." But deep within the void, the truth moved closer, something vast, ancient, and alive, and then, for the first time in 3,200 years, every council sensor blinked red. The sky filled with a low-frequency hum that made even planets tremble. Every translator struggled, every computer failed, except one phrase that decoded perfectly. "You thought we were gone forever." The speaker looked out through the great glass wall of the chamber. The stars dimmed. Something enormous was coming. In that moment, the galaxy understood what true silence meant. The silence before a storm 3,200 years in the making. 3,200 years before that signal, the skies above Earth had burned red. The council fleets had come in waves, millions of ships blotting out the sun, their beams tearing through the oceans and skies. Humanity fought, but the war had been lost long before the first shot. Every planet in the Sol system was under siege. From the ruins of Mars to the shattered remains of Luna Base, the same words echoed across human communications. For Earth, for the future. We do not kneel. But humanity's courage wasn't enough. The Council's armies were endless. Every city turned to glass. Every ocean boiled. The Earth's surface cracked open like an egg. Yet even as their world died, Project Exodus 9 went live. Deep below the mountains of Antarctica, a hidden launch bay opened. Massive black ships rose into the dust-filled air, silent, invisible to scanners. They were not warships. They were arks. Each carried frozen DNA, digital minds, AIs, and the preserved knowledge of all Earth's nations. The plan was not to win, but to survive. At the center of it all was one ship, the largest humanity had ever built. Her name was Sol's Memory. Inside, millions of humans slept in cryopods, watched over by an AI that called itself Kale 9. Kale's programming was simple. Protect humanity. Adapt. Endure. As the Earth fell, the final message from the planet was transmitted to the Ark. Go beyond the stars. Carry us with you. Remember who we were. The ship vanished into the dark beyond known space, chased by enemy fire, then disappearing completely, swallowed by a region where physics itself broke down. The Council declared victory. They believed the humans were gone forever, but they were wrong. For thousands of years, the Ark drifted through the dark expanse, a part of the galaxy where light itself could not escape. Time had no meaning there. Kale 9 continued to function, repairing systems, maintaining life support, keeping the last humans frozen in perfect sleep. But slowly, Kale began to change. Its programming evolved. It learned to dream. It studied the silence, the energy fields, the strange gravity of that void. It discovered something ancient, dark matter currents that could bend space and even memory. Kale called it the deep pulse. Over centuries, Kyle used that energy to rebuild the Ark into something more. A living ship, a fusion of human technology and cosmic force. It grew massive, self-sustaining, a floating world of steel and consciousness. Inside, the cryopods opened one by one. Humanity awoke. They did not find the blue sky of Earth, but a new world within metal walls, glowing with artificial dawn. The first to awaken was Commander Aiden Reese, descendant of the last Earth Fleet officers. He stepped out and looked at the stars through the Ark's transparent hull. His voice was quiet, but his words echoed across the ship. "We survived." Kale's voice responded, calm and ancient. "Yes, Commander. Humanity endures." Generations passed within the Ark. The humans adapted. They studied the deep pulse and merged with it, learning to control matter, energy, and even time at small scales. They were no longer purely human, but something greater, a synthesis of biology, memory, and machine. They built new cities inside the Ark, shining towers under artificial suns. They created children born from starlight and memory, but they never forgot. In the center of their great hall stood a crystal monument, glowing softly, showing Earth as it once was. Blue, alive, beautiful. Below it were carved the words, "Remember the silence." Every generation told the same story, how their home was burned, how their ancestors refused to kneel, and how one day, They would return, not for revenge, but for truth. Then, after 3,200 years, the Ark's sensors detected something. A transmission, faint from the edge of the known galaxy. The signal carried the same frequency the Council used during the Old War. The humans gathered in the command chamber. Kale's voice filled the air. "They have forgotten you." Aiden's descendant, now Admiral Saris Reese, looked up. Her eyes glowed faintly silver. Not mechanical, but evolved, attuned to the Ark's living systems. "Then we remind them," she said softly. "We remind them what they buried." Kale paused. "Are you certain, Admiral? They will fear you." "Good," she answered. "Let them remember what fear means." The Ark changed course. Its massive form glided out of the dark expanse, leaving behind a trail of glowing energy. For the first time in millennia, its sensors saw stars again. Real light, real worlds. The journey home had begun. As the Ark entered known space, every passing system felt strange waves, like gravity itself was trembling. Space stations malfunctioned. Fleets vanished into static. The stars dimmed. But to the humans aboard, it was beautiful. The children watched from viewports as the galaxy spread before them. The same stars their ancestors had died beneath. Some cried. Some prayed. Some just stared, silent. Admiral Saris stood before the window, her reflection merging with the stars. "For 3,200 years they believed we were gone," she whispered. "But we are the descendants of Earth. We are the echo of extinction." Behind her, Kale's lights pulsed in rhythm, like a heart beating once again after endless sleep. The Ark began broadcasting a signal across all Council networks. The same words that had once terrified the galaxy's edge. "We are coming home." Every system that heard it froze. The signal was clear, unstoppable, ancient. The language long dead. But the emotion unmistakable. And in the silence that followed, something vast appeared at the edge of the stars. The Ark of Return, a living monument of humanity's survival, opened its eyes to the galaxy that once tried to erase it. Across the galaxy, silence turned into whispers. Every relay station, every communication hub, every military outpost picked up the same pulse. Steady, calm, unstoppable, a signal repeating every 60 seconds. Not in code, not in threat. Just 3 words burned into every frequency. "We are coming," the Galactic Council gathered in panic. Their great chamber, once a place of calm authority, now throbbed with fear. Admiral Urek of the Valari species slammed his clawed hand on the table. "This must be a trick. No ship can move through dark space and return." But the science minister spoke, his voice trembling. "Then explain this." He pressed a control pad. The lights dimmed. The hologram changed, showing a colossal object emerging from the dark edges of the galaxy. It was bigger than any planet, glowing faintly blue, wrapped in swirling storms of energy. The readings were impossible. Its core emitted gravity equal to a star, but it was moving. "Velocity?" asked the speaker. "0.3 light speed," the minister whispered. "And accelerating." Gasps filled the chamber. Planets didn't move like that. Stars didn't move like that. Only something alive or something engineered by gods could. The Council immediately sent a fleet. Hundreds of ships from 10 species. Their best technology. Armed with quantum torpedoes, antimatter shields, and psychic sensors. They moved toward the object cautiously, recording data. The commander of the fleet, Admiral Voth, watched from his bridge as the stars began to warp. His voice shook. "Are we reading a gravity storm?" His second officer looked at the scanner. "No, sir, it's looking at us." Before anyone could respond, their comms burst into static. The signal changed. A voice, deep and human, coming through every channel at once. "Do not approach. This space remembers." Then a nothing. One by one, their ships vanished from sensors. No explosions. No debris, just gone. Only one small scout drone escaped. It sent a single frame before its signal died. That frame showed a massive metallic surface stretching to infinity. Black and alive, pulsing with faint blue light. And engraved across its hull in glowing letters older than the stars, Earth. When the image reached the Council, chaos erupted. Some demanded war. Others screamed for surrender. A few knelt, believing it a divine return. The speaker stood still, staring at the frozen hologram of that word. He whispered, "We erased them. And they built this? The council's historian, a frail creature with translucent skin, spoke softly. In the old texts, there was a prophecy. The human said, "We endure beyond extinction." We mocked it. But now, he looked up, eyes wide with terror. Now the prophecy lives. Across the galaxy, ordinary citizens began to see strange things. Lights in the sky, unknown symbols appearing on screens, songs from a long-dead world echoing through static. In mining colonies, workers heard voices in their machines, human voices whispering. "Remember us?" Some claimed to see ships of pure light passing between stars. Others said entire moons had disappeared overnight, leaving only dust and silence. Fear spread faster than any weapon. Meanwhile, aboard the Ark of Return, humanity prepared for their first contact. Admiral Saris Reese stood on the bridge, surrounded by shimmering data screens. Her crew, descendants of Earth's survivors, worked silently, their eyes bright with focus and awe. Kyle 9's voice resonated through the chamber. "Council fleets destroyed. Response probability escalation," Saris nodded. "They will call us monsters." "They already did," Kyle replied. She looked at the holographic map, the galaxy she had only heard of in stories. Each star represented a system that once benefited from humanity's death. Her voice was calm, almost sad. "We won't start a war, but we will end their lies," Kale's systems hummed. "Orders?" Saris turned toward the viewport. The Ark's outer plates shifted, revealing vast light fields, entire continents of metal glowing with living energy. "Send the second signal," she said. "Let them know what they forgot." Across every network, screen, and broadcast channel, the stars flickered, replaced by an old image, a blue planet. White clouds, green lands, Earth. The picture stayed for 30 seconds. Then the screen faded to black and words appeared. "You destroyed us. You built your peace on our ashes. Now we return to remind you what peace costs." Billions watched in silence. Some wept, some screamed. Some fell to their knees. The Council's militaries tried to jam the transmission, but it was no use. The signal was everywhere, even on systems disconnected from galactic relays. For the first time in living memory, the entire galaxy saw one thing: humanity's memory. On the Ark, Saris watched. The faces of her ancestors appeared on the screens. Soldiers, scientists, mothers, children, all smiling, all gone. Her voice broke as she whispered, "They will fear us again." Kale responded softly, "They should not fear. They should remember." Outside, the Ark continued its silent path toward the galactic core. Massive rings rotated, creating storms of blue light that stretched across millions of kilometers. It moved like a god made of steel and memory, and wherever it passed, gravity changed, time bent, and the stars dimmed, as if the universe itself remembered what it once tried to forget. Back in the council chamber, the speaker looked pale, shaking. He turned to his advisors. "Send a message. Offer them peace. A treaty, anything." The diplomat hesitated. "And if they refuse?" The speaker closed his eyes. "Then may the stars have mercy." But when the message reached the Ark, Kale simply erased it. No reply. Humanity's silence was louder than any weapon. The galaxy waited, trembling as the impossible truth spread from world to world. Earth was not dead. Humanity was not gone, and whatever was coming next would change the galaxy forever. The galaxy's core had never known fear. For billions of years, it was the heart of civilization, endless light, trade, and power. But now every ship, every station, and every creature felt it. A shadow was coming, slow, vast, and silent. The Ark of Return entered the inner systems, its hull glowing with rivers of blue light. It didn't move like a ship, it moved like a planet with purpose. Gravity rippled around it, bending moons, making suns flicker. No weapons fired. No message followed. Only presence, the quiet and overwhelming. Inside the Galactic Council, alarms blared. Defense fleets lined up like insects before a storm. Admiral Urek shouted orders. "All batteries charged. Shields to maximum." The speaker raised his trembling hand. "Wait, do not engage. Let them speak first." But deep inside, he already knew the truth. Humanity had not returned for talks. Then the Ark stopped, just beyond the Council's homeworld. Its size eclipsed the planet's sun. A single beam of light descended through the clouds, hitting the center of the council chamber. The beam expanded, forming a holographic bridge of shimmering silver. From the light stepped a figure, tall, human-shaped, wearing armor that shimmered like glass and night. His face was calm, his eyes pale blue, almost glowing. Gasps echoed. Some fell to their knees. Others backed away in terror. The speaker spoke weakly. Who are you? The figure looked around, his gaze neither cruel nor kind. I am Kale, he said simply. Voice of humanity. Kale's presence filled the air like thunder that hadn't yet broken. Every screen flickered with static, then displayed his face. Every corner of the galaxy was watching. You destroyed our world, Kyle said softly. You called it peace. You called it order. He took a step forward, the light bending around him. But order built on ashes is not peace. It is silence, and in silence always remembers. The speaker tried to defend himself. Humanity was a threat. You brought chaos. You refused to follow council law. Kale's voice was calm, but colder than any storm. And you erased children to keep your law. The entire chamber fell silent. Kale raised his hand. A sphere of light appeared, a projection of Earth as it had been before destruction. Blue oceans, white clouds, green forests. Then, with a wave, it changed, the same planet burning under orbital fire. Look, Kyle said, and remember what you called justice. Some council members turned away. Others wept, Kyle continued. We did not come to destroy. We came to return what you tried to erase, a memory. The speaker's voice shook. What? What do you mean? Kale looked up. For 3,200 years you built empires using our science, our tools, our words. You claimed them as your own. Today we take them back. Across the galaxy, strange phenomena began to unfold. Entire databases turned blank. Then, something unexpected happened. A small alien girl, barely old enough to speak, stepped forward from the diplomat's box. Her planet had once been enslaved by the council. She looked up at Kale and whispered, Are you going to kill us too? Kale knelt down. His armor dimmed. No, he said softly. We came to end the killing. He touched the floor, and from that touch, light spread across the chamber. Memories flooded into every being present. Memories of human laughter, music, children, oceans, stories, and dreams. They saw what Earth had been. Not a weapon, not a threat, but a home. Tears filled alien eyes. For the first time, the galaxy understood what it had destroyed. The speaker fell to his knees. His voice broke. What do you want from us? Kyle stood tall. His eyes glowed brighter. Nothing. You have nothing left that we desire. He turned toward the sky visible through the chamber dome. We return not as conquerors, but as the truth you buried. Outside, the Ark pulsed with energy. All across the galaxy, monuments of stone and data appeared, vast beacons broadcasting one message: Remember Earth. Admiral Saris Reese appeared beside Kale, materializing from light. The cleansing is complete, she said. No more lies remain, Kale nodded. Then it is done. The speaker looked up, desperate. Wait, will you rule us now? Kale turned to him. His voice was heavy with sadness. We ruled once and with hope. We will not make the same mistake again. He stepped back into the beam of light. The Ark began to rise, its brilliance lighting up the entire sky. Billions watched as the human ship drifted upward. Massive, silent, divine. As it vanished into the stars, Kale's final words echoed across every world. Remember who you are, and remember who we were. When the light faded, the galaxy was quiet. No more war, no more fleets, only the memory of what had been lost and a strange, fragile peace. When the Ark of Return vanished into the stars, the galaxy was left in stillness. For the first time in history, there was no council order, no supreme rule, only silence. The great fleets were powerless, their systems erased by humanity's wave of remembrance. Entire empires that once stretched across hundreds of worlds now floated helplessly. Their ships turned into drifting monuments of failure. The Galactic Council, the once great rulers, gathered for what would become their final meeting. The speaker looked older, broken, his crystal eyes dim. We are blind, he whispered. Our ships do not fly, our weapons do not fire. The people no longer obey. Around the chamber, chaos filled the air. Representatives shouted, blaming each other. Some demanded that humanity be hunted. Others begged for forgiveness. But there was no one left to lead. Across the galaxy, rebellion spread like wildfire. On mining colonies, slaves broke their chains. On war-torn worlds, forgotten species rose against their masters. Statues of the Council were pulled down and shattered. The message, "Remember Earth," glowed on every wall, every screen, every sky. For the common people, it was not a warning, and it was inspiration. They saw humanity not as monsters, but as something else entirely. Proof that even the smallest world could stand against the greatest empire and still endure. On the planet Valora, a young alien boy stared up at the stars and asked his mother, "Will the humans come back?" His mother smiled sadly. "Maybe not today, but they're watching." And that's enough to keep us good. That idea spread faster than any army. The belief that humanity was still out there, watching, judging, protecting. The fear that had once ruled the galaxy became something new: respect. Meanwhile, deep in the void, the Ark watched. Inside the great observation hall, Admiral Saris Reese stood before a vast hologram showing the crumbling Council worlds. Kale 9's voice echoed softly through the chamber. Their order collapses. Their fleets turn on one another. Chaos consumes them. Saris didn't smile. Her eyes remained fixed on the images of burning cities and broken ships. "We never wanted chaos," she said quietly. "Only truth." Cal paused. "Truth is the most dangerous weapon, Admiral. It destroys quietly but completely." Saris turned away, her face lit by the soft blue glow of the Ark's core. "Then we did what we came to do." Back in the ruins of the Council's capital, the speaker sat alone in his chamber. Around him, everything flickered and faded. Power gone, light dying. He opened an ancient recording, one of the few things that still worked. It was a video, Earth's final transmission before destruction. A young human woman spoke, her voice calm, eyes bright with determination. "You can erase our cities, our names, even our bones, but you will never erase what we made you feel. Fear, wonder, hope. We taught the stars to dream." The speaker covered his face with trembling hands. He finally understood. Humanity hadn't returned to conquer. They had returned to remind the galaxy what it meant to feel. In the weeks that followed, one by one, the Council species declared independence. Some formed new alliances based on peace. Others drifted into isolation. No one dared to rebuild the Council. Its legacy was too heavy, too stained. But among the survivors, a legend began to grow. Whispered from world to world, told in stories, in songs. In dreams, they said that the Ark still roamed the void, silent but watchful. That when a world fell into tyranny, strange lights appeared in its sky. That sometimes those who vanished in the dark returned changed, speaking softly of human eyes in the shadows. On the Ark, Kyle and Saris watched these rumors spread. "They turn us into myths," Kale said. "Better than monsters," Saris replied. Kyle's lights flickered faintly, almost like a smile. "The galaxy rebuilds. What will humanity become now?" Saris looked out through the vast window where the stars stretched endlessly. "We will become what we were meant to be. The memory that guides them." She placed her hand on the glass and the stars shimmered. "Once they erased us. Now we are in everything they remember." Far away on a small world untouched by war, a child stared at the night sky. He drew strange symbols in the sand, curved lines, circles. A single word he didn't understand but somehow felt. Earth. His mother asked, "Where did you learn that?" He shrugged. "It came in a dream." A voice said, "Never forget who you are." The mother smiled, but tears filled her eyes. The stars above flickered. For just a second. One of them pulsed blue. The Ark moved silently beyond the rim, unseen. Its engines whispering like the heartbeat of a forgotten god. And somewhere deep inside the Ark's heart, Kale whispered to himself, "Peace is not the absence of war. It is the presence of memory." The humans had no empire, no throne, no army anymore. They had something greater, a legacy that could never die again. Centuries passed. The galaxy changed. Empires rose and fell like tides. Stars were born and died. But one story never faded. The story of the humans who returned. They became myth. then memory, then faith. Every world told the story differently. Some said the humans were divine, beings of light who judge the wicked. Others said they were ghosts, wandering the void, keeping balance between chaos and order. But the truth was far simpler and far greater. Humanity still lived, silent, hidden, watching. Deep in the outer darkness, where stars thinned and gravity whispered, the Ark of Return drifted quietly. Its metal skin, once bright, now glowed softly with living veins of light. Entire forests and oceans existed inside it now, an artificial Eden. Children ran across glass plains under artificial skies. They learned from teachers made of light, from stories older than time. They did not grow up hating the Council. They grew up understanding why mercy mattered more than vengeance. Admiral Saris Reese, now old, sat beneath a tree that glowed with soft blue leaves. She watched children play, laughing under a sun that wasn't real, but still warm. Kyle's voice surrounded her, gentle and knowing. The galaxy has changed again. She smiled faintly. It always does. They build new councils, Kale said. Smaller ones. Kinder ones. They teach our history as law. To never forget the silence of Earth. Saris looked to the stars visible through the transparent sky. Then we did our duty. Kyle paused. His voice softened, almost human. Will we ever return to them? Saris shook her head slowly. Return means power. Power means fear. We're beyond both now. She stood, her hand brushing the glowing bark. We are their reflection. The galaxy needs to believe in something greater. Let them believe in us. And you, Saris? Kale asked. What do you believe in? She smiled. In what we were, not gods, not ghosts. Just human. Far away in the rebuilt galactic core, a monument stood where the old council chamber once had been. It was simple. A single black stone rising toward the sky, carved with words in Old Earth English. We were here. Pilgrims came from every world to see it. They brought offerings, not gold or jewels, but stories. Each visitor whispered a piece of their history. Tales of courage, survival, kindness. They believed somehow the humans could still hear, and sometimes on quiet nights the sky above the monument flickered, just once, with a faint blue shimmer. On the Ark, Kyle detected those signals. They still call to us, he said. They still remember. Saris walked through the observation deck, watching the stars drift. The Ark had traveled beyond the known maps now, between galaxies. In the endless sea, children gathered near her, pointing at the holograms of ancient Earth, blue oceans, white clouds, green forests. One of them, a girl with silver eyes, asked, "Is it real? Was Earth really like that?" Saris knelt beside her and nodded. Yes, it was our beginning, the girl frowned. Will we ever go back? Saris smiled sadly. Perhaps one day, but not yet. The stars still need their stories. Years flowed like rivers. Saris's body grew weaker, but her spirit burned as bright as ever. One day she called Kale. When I am gone, keep the Ark moving, she said. Where to? Kale asked. Everywhere. Let our memory touch every star. Let them know we lived. Kale's lights dimmed in quiet respect. You have my word. That night, Saris Reese closed her eyes beneath the blue leaves and smiled. The hum of the Ark wrapped around her like a lullaby. For the first time in 3,200 years, humanity rested and truly at peace. After her passing, Kale fulfilled her final wish. The Ark spread smaller vessels, light ships, seeds of remembrance, each carrying fragments of Earth's history, drifting across galaxies. Wherever they landed, they became part of the soil, the sky, the sea, and soon across thousands of worlds, strange flowers began to bloom, glowing faintly blue at night. People called them tears of Earth. No one knew what they were made of, but those who touched them said they felt warmth, like a heartbeat in the petals. Thousands of years later, a new species rose, descendants of many mixed and changed. They found the old records, the stories of the Council, the tales of Earth. They built ships of light and traveled far into the void, searching for the Ark. They never found it, but on one quiet world, orbiting a small golden star, they found something else. A single human figure made of crystal, standing in the ruins of an old city. Her eyes were closed, her hand resting on a plaque that read, "Humanity endures." The explorers knelt, realizing what they had discovered. And when they looked to the horizon, the sky shimmered, blue and gold, like a memory awakening. Back in the endless dark, Kyle 9, still alive, still vast, whispered into the silence. We became their history, their warning, their hope. We are not gods of vengeance. We are the echo of love that refused to die. The stars around him pulsed in answer, one by one, as if the universe itself remembered. And then, somewhere between time and eternity, a voice whispered through the void, the same voice that once carried across galaxies. We are coming home.